Hello, and welcome to the Bettendorf Public Library's Take-Home Workshop. This month, we're going to be making these paper medallions. Ours are fairly generic in terms of event, but you could make them to go with a particular holiday or a special event. You can make them large, you can make them small, make more than one for an arrangement on your wall with different decorative elements. So we're going to go ahead and show you how to make these simple and quick, but really festive decorations. In your kit, you're going to have a piece of scrapbook paper. What I'm working with today is a slightly heavier paper than what you will have in your kit. It works better for you because with a heavier paper, when you fold it, it tends to crack a little bit, and you don't want that. You just want it to bend. So what you have is actually better suited to this than what I'm using today. But this is what I've got today, so this is what we're going to use. You're going to find a length of tulle in a coordinating color. You're going to find a few paper clips. You might want to use more. If you have more, that's up to you, or you might not need them, but we threw a couple in just in case. And that's all. Oh, and a thing of glue. What we're asking you to provide is a pair of scissors or a way of cutting your paper. And optionally, you could use a stapler as well to kind of reinforce some of this, but that is up to you. So that's your kit. Let's go ahead and get started. The first thing you're going to want to do is you have 2 sheets of your scrapbook paper. You're going to want to cut them into fourths. Now, when you get scrapbook paper in a pad, it often comes, it says it's 12 by 12, but it's actually more than that. You'll see there's a little line down the side, a dotted line. That's the 12-inch mark. And I want my quarters to be perfectly square. So the first thing I'm going to do is cut along that dotted line and get that little bit of extra off of there. If you're buying decorative papers that are not in a pad, that are just single sheets or a pack of them that are not bound together, then chances are you're not going to have to worry about this, that your sheets are actually going to be a 12 by 12 sheet. But I would recommend double checking before you start cutting, just to make your life a little easier. And then I'm going to cut both of these in 4. And if you want to be very precise and use a ruler and measure, you can. But what I'm going to do is just carefully fold it in half, then fold it in half again, and then cut along those fold lines. Obviously, if you have a paper cutter at home, that's going to make for probably a better, more precise cut. This craft is not one that requires you to be extremely precise. You get the more precise you are, the better your final project is going to look probably, but it's pretty forgiving. Okay, so now we have 8 pieces of 6 by 6 paper, and we're going to want to accordion fold these. Now, if you want to, you can just go ahead and freehand it. I like mine to be a little bit more even. Again, the more precise, the more even it is, the more polished your final piece is going to be. So I'm going to fold in half, then I'm going to fold my edges in, to the center, then again I'm going to fold the edges in to that first fold, and then this fold I'm going to fold into the middle. separate. There we go. So now I have the folds where they need to be, but it's not all accordion. So at this point in time, then I just refold it as an accordion. I'm going to do that with all 8 pieces, but I want to end up with 4 like this where the end of the fold is facing up, and then I want 4 where the end is facing down so that they're easy to lock together. So I'm going to go ahead and keep folding till I have all 8 of my pieces folded in this accordion fold. I've folded all my pieces of paper, and you can see I have 4 of these where the final fold is going up and 4 where the final fold is going down, and they're just going to slide together like that for some nice invisible seams. So now we're just going to take our glue, and you could use hot glue for this too if you don't feel like waiting around for glue to dry. I know this glue dries pretty quickly, but hot glue would absolutely work just fine for this. We're going to dot it along there, and we're going to slide those 2 together. And match up the ends and give it a good squeeze, just like that. And we're going to do that with all of these pieces. We're going to alternate pieces between the ones with the ends sticking up and the ones with the end folds going down. And they're just all going to mesh together like that beautifully. Once you have all 8 of your pieces together, we're just going to tighten these up like this. And I'm just going to, you can just hold it for a few seconds. You can put a rubber band around it and go get yourself a cup of tea. And we just want to give that glue a chance to mostly dry, because we're going to put a little bit of stress on it in our next step. So once we've given those a chance to dry a little bit and strengthen, we're going to set it on end and wrap it around. So we're going to be gluing these 2 ends together again. I'm just dabbing glue on there again, doing the exact same thing, except this time we're not laying it flat. We're going to start sending it on end and bringing that around and gluing that together just like we did everything else. So now we've got a cylinder. Now this we want to be well and truly dry before we manipulate it anymore. So we're going to take this, we're going to set it off to the side, and we'll go ahead and we're going to make our little tool rosette that's going to go in the middle. So you have about a yard-long piece of tool, and we're just going to cut off just a bit at the end, inch and a half maybe. Then we're going to take what's left, we're folding it in half roughly, and we're just going to wrap it around our hand, just like this. Keeping it folded in half. Then we take it off. We have this tube. We want to pinch it together this way. We're going to take the scrap that we cut off, and we're going to wrap it around the middle and tie it. Kind of make a little bow tie. Okay. Then we're going to take one side of this and we're going to open it up and we're going to fold it up to the other side. And you can do it one layer at a time if you'd like. I actually find that makes, I think, for a little bit more body in your finished rosette. And you're going to have a little extra bits hanging out because from where you tied it, and you can just trim those off. Come back. And then you just have a little rosette. Separate out some of the layers. This is going to go in the middle of our medallion. And we chose rosettes, but you could put anything in there. You could use actual flowers. You could use fake flowers or real. You could do, you know, they have all sorts of stickers. You could do a contrasting paper and just cut a circle. You could do a heart shape. You could do anything like that. But we're doing the rosettes, and there's our rosette ready to go. Once our glue on our accordion paper is well and truly set, we're going to go ahead now and make the medallion. We're going to take one end, we're going to squeeze them all together like this. And we're going to squirt a generous amount of our glue all over the end of this. It's probably easier for you guys because you're starting with a fresh tube of glue. Mine was used up quite a bit. Then we're going, once we get that well glued, we're going to, here's the tricky part, lay it flat. There we go, just like that. And squeeze that nice together so that glue has a chance to get in there and sit. You can hold it for a bit if you want. You could also just set something on it to hold it in place while that dries. And what I found works well is a water bottle or anything with a bottom that is not completely flat. Just set it on there, and it's going to hold it in place and give that glue a chance to dry. Since the bottom of the bottle is domed, has a little kind of dimple in it, the bottom of it is not coming into contact with the glue. So you don't have to worry about tearing things away when this dries. So we're gonna let this sit for a little while. We're gonna let it dry really well. And then when we come back, we'll finish it off. So this has been drying for a little while now. So we're gonna take our weight off and hopefully it will stay in. Now it's not staying. So I think I didn't use enough glue because my tube of glue was getting so low. But one thing you can do too is you can cut out a little square or circle of cardboard and glue it onto the back. And that just gives it a little bit more rigidity, makes it a little bit more stable. I'm going to just keep holding this down so it doesn't pop up on me, but I'm going to show you how we can put our rosette in the middle. And again, it just goes with the generous application of glue. So we're just going to squeeze glue. I have a new tube here. Again, like I said, yours should be fine because you're starting with new tubes. I had started with one that I had already used. And then we're just, so I did a pretty thick ring all the way, and we're just going to take the base of our rosette and just push it on there, and I'll just hold it for a while. So this makes for a pretty good sized rosette. You can make smaller ones, you can make really small ones, you can use them together, string them together, put letters in the center and make a happy birthday banner or a congratulations banner. You can make really little ones and make cake toppers on them. Just glue them onto a toothpick or a skewer and you'll have your decorative medallion that you can customize with any paper that you want, any sort of a center that you want. You don't even have to do a center if you don't want to. So share your photos of your medallions with us on social media. And we want to thank the Bettendorf Public Library Foundation and Quad City Bank and Trust for sponsoring this take-home workshop.